Alright, Shalom. This is the brother Kazak from GMS Mississippi Camp. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, the honors to the elders of GMS, and honors to you brothers out there that's doing the work in truth and sincerity. And this video is part 2 to why did Columbus bring Hebrew interpreters. And I'm doing another part to it because I found some things that are of good interest. That goes right into the first lesson that I did. Because basically one thing about this truth, man, it never ends. You know, it's like a continual flowing stream of knowledge, man. You always find something new. All right. And I'm in the book of Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. And basically I went into this book already. I'm just going to read the same passage again. But I found something on Wikipedia about one of Columbus's Hebrew interpreters. All right, the same guy that I read before. But really, this truth is just plain, man. Like we say time and again, if you're meant to get it, you're meant to get it. If you're not, then it's just not for you. You're not a part of the elect. Plain and simple, man. All right, but this is the book of Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. Okay. And this is on page 92. It says Columbus's Golden World. I'm going to get to the point. It says, this is the second paragraph. We do not know much concerning Columbus's crew of about 90 men aboard the 3 ships, but at least one of them was an Israelite whose presence as such was not merely accidental. This was Louis de Torres, a convert of possibly only that year. It says Louis de Torres. Now, this guy, he's of very special significance because once again, why would Columbus bring a Hebrew interpreter to the New World with him if he wasn't bringing that man, well, Hebrew interpreters, because it was more than one. It was more than just Louis de Torres. But why would he bring Hebrew interpreters to the New World with him? Like what? How is that special? You know, like what's the purpose of that? He was bringing them to interpret for him what the Northern Kingdom tribes, the tribe of Ephraim, the tribe of Issachar, the tribe of Manasseh, what they were saying in the Hebrew, you know, and converting it to Spanish back to Columbus, you know. But we're gonna prove it. It says a convert of possibly only that year. And when it says convert, that means Louis de Torres, basically he was forced to accept Roman Catholicism because there was an edict passed by King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella that all Jews were to be kicked out of Spain and Portugal. And if they're not kicked out, they're basically either put to death or they're to convert to Christianity, Roman Catholicism. All right. So he was converted. He was forced to become a Roman Catholic. It says who had once held a position with the governor of Murcia. He was said to have known Hebrew. This is the point. Hebrew, Aramaic, and some Arabic, and had been brought along by Columbus specifically as an interpreter. Okay. All right. And just look up words, man. What is an interpreter? An interpreter is somebody that he speaks different languages. You might speak this one language and you might not understand something that someone else is saying. So someone they translate it for you, for lack of better words. So they'll translate what the other person is saying into your language so you can understand it. Okay, that's what an interpreter is. All right. So we're speaking about Louis de Torres. All right. And this is in Wikipedia here. Louis de Torres. Louis de Torres died 1493, perhaps born as, well, they have the Yiddish here. We're going to read it how it's really said. Perhaps born as Yawasap Bun Halaya Ha-Ibarya, Joseph, son of Levi the Hebrew, was Christopher Columbus's interpreter on his first voyage and the first person of Jewish origin to settle in America. All right. And basically, when it says of Jewish origin, he was of the same stock as those of the people you call Moors and Morenos, which were Israelites that were ruling in Spain and Portugal and throughout all Europe. All right, because we ruled Europe for about a period of 1,000 years, you know, until the so-called white man slowly came back into power and took us down. Okay, and it says, while still a Jew, de Torres served as an interpreter to the governor of Murcia due to his knowledge of Hebrew, Aramaic, Arabic, and Portuguese. In order to avoid the expulsion edict against the Jews of Spain, we was talking about that earlier, how the Jews of Spain were kicked out. De Torres converted to Catholicism shortly before the departure of Columbus's expedition. Columbus hoped that the interpreter's skills would be useful in Asia. That's a damn lie. It will be useful in the Americas. Columbus wasn't trying to go to Asia, man. That's misinformation. Okay, he was not trying to go to Asia. He was purposely coming to America, and the proof on that is he read the book of Esdras. All right, and let's get that, man. Scripture say, "Prove all things." Let's prove that, okay? Because like the elders say, man, we here at GMS, we don't just talk, man. We actually prove what we say. Okay. This is in the chapter called Enter Columbus. It's on page 79. It says, but meanwhile, the apocryphal Esdras, which was, by the way, a book of special importance to many new Christians, has a good deal to say about the original lost tribes. All right. And as you can read here, it gives you the book and the chapter, 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, 2-5. All right. But it also tells you about the verses that indicate about how the so-called Indians, people you call Native Americans, people you call Mayans, Aztecs, and their descendants today, Latinos and Native Americans. It tells you about how they got to the Americas. Okay, and Columbus read this book. All right. It says, if Columbus did indeed glimpse himself in the role of the man from the sea, then Esdras' identification of the peaceable multitude takes on special significance. So he was looking at himself as the Messiah when he came over here to the Americas, that he would, you know, do what he did to the native peoples, man. He knew that they were Israelites. You know, but he's not the man from the sea. The man from the sea is Yahweh Shai. But, you know, it gives you the verses here. But, you know, just the proof that he read the book of Esdras. So he knew the 10 tribes were in the Americas. He knew that they were over here in the Western Hemisphere. So he wasn't trying to go no damn Asia, man. All right. But, you know, that's it on that. And going back to what we're reading about him about Louis de Torres. Okay, I'm gonna read over right here. In order to avoid the expulsion edict against the Jews of Spain, de Torres converted to Catholicism shortly before the departure of Columbus's expedition. Columbus hoped that the interpreter's skills would be useful in Asia. They would be useful in America. We just proved that, because they would enable him to communicate with with the local Jewish traders. It wasn't no Jewish traders in Asia, man. Even though Israel was scattered everywhere, the Israelites were in the Americas. All right. And it says, and he may also have believed that he would find descendants of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. That's the point. That Louis de Torres would help Columbus find descendants of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. Okay, that's why he brought him with him, because he spoke Hebrew, and he would be able to translate the Hebrew into the Spanish, so Columbus would be able to understand. All right, so really it's plain, man. Okay, and this guy, he was an Israelite, and we suffered persecution in Spain and Portugal and throughout all Europe when Esau came back into power in like the late 1300s, early 1400s. You know, you had the Borgia family. They came up. You know, we talked about King Ferdinand, Queen Isabella, and they the one that made this edict, man. You know, that all Jews were to be expulsed from Spain, you know. But like I said, this guy was an Israelite, and to prove that the Jews in Spain and in Portugal were black, I have this book. Well, when I say black, I mean, you know, so-called Negroes. I have this book here called Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers. And this is just to prove that point really quick. Okay. And this is on page 123. And it says, Watts says an interesting gradation of all shades down to the black is exhibited by the Jews. Especially dark were the Jews of Spain and Portugal. All right, they were so-called Negroes, man. It says the Portuguese Jews were very dark, says Pritchard. The Duchess de Abrantes, wife of Napoleon's ambassador to Portugal, said that the Jew, the Negro, and the Portuguese could be seen in a single person. Because that was us, you know. The Jews, which you would call so-called Negroes, lived in Portugal, you know. We ruled Portugal, actually. And it says, so dark were the Jews, especially of Portugal and southern Spain, that many whites thought all Jews were black or dark. And guess what? All Jews, because Jews are the tribe of Judah, or you had Judah, Benjamin, and Levi there, they are black or dark, you know. But this is just proved the point, man. I mean, that's the lesson. You know, I hope brothers were edified, man. And with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the bonds to the elders of GMS. And honestly, you brothers out there that's doing the work, that's co-laboring with us. Stay strong, man. We almost out of here. Stay up. Shalom.